Okay, so here is my review of the Treatlife Smart Dimmer Switch. It's a 4-pack. I have a existing smart dimmer switch from Treatlife that has individual up and down buttons on here, so this is a different style. So let's investigate what's inside. So it comes with wire labels. I never use them, but good for someone who may not exactly remember how these are installed if you need to do any service in the back. Hey, thank you for your purchase card, very nice. We have the frequently asked questions. If you need any assistance, and user manual. Which I will take a look at to validate any differences from the other switch that I've installed. And we have protection from packaging there. So here's the individual switches. Each with a handy dandy warning on there. We'll investigate that. Can't be too careful working with electricity. And then each one should come with a faceplate. Switch cover. They will fit with standard faceplates, so I may or may not use these new faceplates. I may use the existing ones that I have. And comes with wire nuts and mounting screws for each switch. So I will take a look at the instructions, turn off electrical breaker, and start the install. All right, at this point I should mention that I have turned the electric off. The light is out. I've also confirmed other outlets on this breaker are out, so it is safe to remove the switch. So let me do that. Okay, so with the switch unscrewed from the circuit box, I'm going to find the two black wires. One is going to go to the power to the box. One is going to go to the lights in the room, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Green would be the ground to the uninsulated copper, and apparently the way this was installed in my box is there is my common neutral. So I'm going to tie the white wire of the switch into that, and then I have a pigtail. So this would be the input to the box, because the pigtail is probably tied to the outlet in the room. So this is going to be the line going to my lights. So this will be my load. So let me take those off and get ready to attach the new dimmer switch. So one thing I should mention at this point is the switch comes with wire leads that are stripped. What is that, about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, something like that, not very long. But if you'll see what I previously had there, a lot further strip back of the insulation. So that is sort of my preference. So I've taken one of the other switches that came in the pack and used a wire stripper to remove a little further back to allow for a better connection on the wire nut. This would probably work, but I just don't think that that would grip quite as well. So that's why I've stripped it back a little further. And I am keeping the wire nuts that I already had in my outlet box here. The ones that came with it are pretty much identical, so should not really matter. All right, so I'm going to work sort of right to left here. Here's my load wire that's powering the lights. So the red is the load out of the switch. So that's what's going to activate when you turn on the dimmer switch. So you want to get a good twist on these wires. And comparing the length of my wire nut, there's a little bit extra exposed up here, but I don't think that should be a problem. So just tighten that down really well. Some people will take electrical tape and tape around the wire nut. I am not incredibly concerned about that, but you do want it to be tight on there so it's got a good grip, make a good connection. So I'm going to connect the others. I don't think we need to record all of that. The neutral, white to the common neutral there for the box. Black is going to go onto this pigtail to the line coming into the box. And of course green is the ground going to the uninsulated copper wire in the outlet box. Okay, so now I have all the connections made here with the wire nuts on tightly, the ground, the line, neutral, load. Now would be good for you to put the labels on the wires. I'm choosing not to do that just because I know what I'm doing. I've done a few of these in the past and have some basic electrical experience. I'm not concerned about that, but it may be good for you to put those nuts on. The next step will be to carefully push everything back in the box here and fasten the switch into the outlet box. All right, so I have my wires arranged back in there. The switch is deep, but not all that deep. It's about what I had in the past, so you know, it's be too crazy cramming the wires in there. So now I'm going to use the screws they provided to fasten the switch into the outlet box. All right, so the switch is fastened in there tightly. Now I can remove the protective film off the switch, and I will snap the faceplate on, which also has its own protective film. Take that off and nice faceplate. Snaps right in. Now I can turn the electric on and test it out. Alright, so the power is back on. The red light was over here blinking until I actually touched the switch. You probably cannot tell that the lowest dimmer light is on there. LED is lit. But let me concentrate right now on setting up the switch with the app control. So I have the Treatlife app here for iOS on an iPad. I already have two lights configured, although you can't really see that particularly well. All right, I think that will show a little better. So there's a plus sign up here to add the new device. Now the instructions say to look for wall switch. However, do not see that as one of the options. So since I've already done one of these before of the different dimmer style, I believe it's going to be switch Wi-Fi. So I'm going to select that. So it says reset the device. By doing that, you hold the, turn on the device, and oh, it is not blinking fast. So I believe I hold this for 5 seconds and then it should start blinking. And it is now blinking. So I can say confirm the rapid blink. Now you need to tie it to a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Thankfully I have a smart one on here, so I will pair it to here and enter my password and start back in a second. So once I entered my password, it started the connecting. All right, so it is done, telling me it's a DS01C smart dimmer switch added successfully. So let me try using the control, and let me move the camera so we can hopefully see what it's doing. Okay, let me start by just turning on, and indeed here we go. And that was part of the reason I replaced the dimmer switch in here, as anything below about halfway did not dim these LED bathroom light bulbs very well. So let me just try a manual. A little bit of flicker as we do that, but that looks really good up there. So a little bit of flicker as it's adjusting, but far better than the switch I had in there, which once we hit about that level would just turn the lights out entirely. Now, I have a feeling we have some dimmer settings in here that may improve the, I could probably try the different modes here. So there's dimming mode 2, so let's try using the dimmer on dimmer mode 2. And maybe a little bit less. Better, let me try dimming mode 3. Wow, that made a difference here. Let's see. That looks a little better for me, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave 15% down there. That seems about the bottom of the range. Sounds good. So I guess I can lock that, although I think the label's a little wrong because now it says unlocked, but it's locked. That was my confusion. So I think they mean, I don't know, it's backwards. So good there. I could mess with timer, but this is not really something I plan to put on a timer, nor am I actually using any of the smart home, Alexa or Google Home yet, but just wanted to be able to have a better dimmer switch in here and be able to monitor in case anyone leaves the lights on, be able to turn it off by the app. So, and we can play with on and off. That was pretty smooth. And of course, from the main dashboard here of the Treatlife app, the light is on. I can turn it off here. And if I so desired, I could go into smart tools here. So I already have a schedule for my outdoor lights to turn on at dusk and turn off at dawn. You could do something similar to other lights in here. This was very easy to do for my other dimmer switch, but I don't need that for this application. So the app seems very good. Let's look at the manual control on the switch and how that works next. All right, so let's look at the manual control of the switch. Right now the lights are on and I believe it's all the way bright. If you can maybe see this LED indicator up here is lit. Let me just start with on and off. So we have off. That dimmer light up there is staying on, so I guess that's warning me that if I turn it on, it'll be full brightness. The LED here at the bottom has turned on once the light is off, so we can just go from on to off, and the LEDs all sort of lit up there in sequence, and now showing me that it's all the way dim, or I'm sorry, all the way bright, and the LED here is off. So if I do this, I can manually dim the lights just by touch. That's pretty cool, and I guess I pressed too hard and turned it off, so let's turn it back on so we can play with the brightness. Now, the one feature in here that's interesting that my other does not have is supposedly we can set this as a preset. So it says to set the dimming level where you want. Press the on off 3 times. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3. And now I guess if I turn it off, it says to press the on off switch twice to bring it back to that level. So let me sort of turn it on and we'll take it fully bright. And then I wonder if we press twice, it does bring it back to my presets. That is nice. So we can probably have a nice little preset for a real dim setting to easily bring it back there automatically, but it looks like it will remember the last setting you have. So when you turn it off, it will come back to the highest setting unless you double click. We'll bring it to the preset, which did not light up my lights. Oh, okay, let's see. So double tap there, brought it to the right dimmer level, but it's still off, so I have to press one more time. So you have to have it on to use the preset. So there we go. That's how that works. Not sure that's ideal, but whether I'll use that very much, but that is a feature. Now I understand how it works. Overall, very, very happy, easy to install. Works as promised and has the app capability that I may or may not use very much, but it seems to work really, really well on the LED lights that I have in here, which was a major feature that I wanted, a dimmer switch that could control the LEDs better than a standard dimmer switch. Thanks for your time. Hope this was helpful.